Okay, perfect. Let's start. So my idea today was to work on the three Buddhist meditations called the Bhavanas. Those are the basically Buddhist meditations: Metta Bhavana, Samatha Bhavana, and Vipassana Bhavana. Probably the more known of these three meditations is Vipassana. It became kind of famous or popular, I would say, in the last 30, 40 years in the United States, in many yoga studios or in many places related to yoga. Vipassana is some sort of meditation that is being taught. In any case, I would say this. I would like to do the exercise as being taught by Buddhists, as far as I know. I am not an expert, I must say that. In Buddhist meditations, I never studied so much about Buddha and Buddhism. My education, all my exploration is in Vedanta, which is a little bit different and is previous of the appearance of Buddha. But in any case, I would like to go to these three meditations. And the reason, I have many reasons, but the most important reason I think is, I think that it could give you ideas on how to develop your own practice. Because when you are approaching meditation, or we are experiencing the practice of meditation, it's really good to explore it from different perspectives. And these three different meditations, even though somehow I related to the steps of the meditations you learn from me, or the way that you learn meditation from me, can help you. I think that they are very interesting and can help you to develop a more solid practice. That's the main reason. So Metta Bhavana is the first one. It could be translated as loving kindness meditation. The second one is Samatha Bhavana. It could be translated as tranquility. And the third meditation, Vipassana, could be translated as an insight. Literally means inside. V means in, and Passana means sight or seeing, or seen in a more deeper, particular way. That's the translation from Pali or Sanskrit to English. So these are the three Buddhist meditations. My idea today is to do this. First, explain the three of them, actually one of them, Metta Bhavana, and then practice Metta Bhavana. Then explain Samatha Bhavana and practice Samatha, and then explain Vipassana Bhavana and practice Vipassana. And after that, by the end, if we have time, do an entire meditation, starting with Metta Bhavana, then going into Samatha, and then going into Vipassana. Just in one meditation, in one step, in one chunk, to put it somehow. Makes sense? That's the idea I have for today. And the idea is because in reality, Vipassana Bhavana is a very inclusive, easy practice, if you will, but without the practice of Metta and Samatha, probably is never going to be a good practice. So if you talk with Buddhist meditators, people that really explore meditation through the Buddha knowledge, or to the practice of Buddhism, they, for example, say that you should spend years practicing Samatha before jumping into the practice of Vipassana. So I would like to explain all these things when we are going through each meditation, but that's why I wanted to do it this way, because in reality, the idea of practicing Metta Bhavana in the beginning is to open the heart, because that's the meaning of the meditation, loving kindness meditation. You want to open the heart. Why? Because the first, or one of the most important, I don't like to use the word goals, but ideas or explorations that you are going when you practice meditation, in the end, is the dissolution of the ego. We live in this, as Alan would say, a skin encapsulated ego. That's our life. And usually, when we are in that set of mind, it's very difficult to meditate because the ego is constantly going there. Like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? Why are you just doing this, cookie thing when you can be productive doing more important stuff or whatever? That's the ego talking, no? So we need somehow to dissolve the ego. And I think that the more we practice meditation, we realize that this ego is being dissolved. No, we are not as attached to our principles, our ideas, our narrative. We step back, we ask questions, we are much more aware of our inner blah, blah, blah. So opening the heart is super important in order to develop practice of meditation. And that's why, in my understanding, again, I am not an expert on this. Maybe a master of Buddhist meditation can refute absolutely all what I say tonight. Hopefully not. But I believe that starting with a loving kindness meditation is a great way to embrace the practice of meditation. Then samatha. Why samatha? Well, as I say, samatha means tranquility. What that means? Well, when we explore samatha, we will see that they basically talk about being focused, mindful about a point of view. So basically, you are going to focus your attention on an object or an action. This is something that you heard from me when we were talking about dharana. When I say pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Pratyahara, redirecting your senses inward. Dharana, focusing your attention on an object. So samatha meditation is exactly the same. You want to focus your attention on an action or an object. For samatha practitioners, they encourage you to do this because when you are focusing your attention on an action or an object, then this will bring calmness or tranquility to the mind. And it's crucial to gain this tranquility and this calmness of the mind in order to be able to perform a successful Vipassana meditation. Makes sense? That's basically why these are the three Bhavanas. To put it this way, you go and say to a Buddhist organization, say, I want to meditate. Okay, practice Metta Bhavana. Open your heart. Hey, but I want to practice Vipassana because Buddha was practicing Vipassana when he got enlightened, and I want to practice Vipassana. Go and practice Metta Bhavana. Open the heart. And then after you open the heart, hey, I open my heart. You can see my heart wide open. So I want to practice, Vipassana. No, practice Samatha. You need to get that mind calm. And after that mind goes calm, then you can jump into the practice of Vipassana. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't practice Vipassana. We are going to practice Vipassana today. But it's important for you to understand the concept. In my way to see this, in my perspective, after 20 years teaching, more than teaching, because I've been teaching for almost 20 years, but practicing meditation, this is the way that I see these three meditations. And I really believe that they are very powerful way to embrace the practice of meditation. So it's something that you maybe, tomorrow when you are going to sit and meditate, say, I'm going to practice on Metta, I'm going to practice on Samatha, or I'm going to practice on Vipassana. Make sense? Okay, so let's do it. Metta Bhavana, loving kindness. The first step when you practice Metta Bhavana is basically bring benevolence, love, compassion inward. So you want to create this feeling of benevolence, this feeling of compassion, this feeling of love within. How we do that? Well, there are different techniques. For some of us, it's easy to go in and really connect with your benevolent being or your compassionate being or connecting with love. For some of us, it's not as easy. But you can, for example, remember someone that you love, someone you love deeply. and then bring that love within. Makes sense? So, for example, I know that I love deeply my two sons. I love them deeply. So I bring that present within me, and then I develop this feeling I have for them, that love that I have for them, and then I just connect with that energy within. Don't forget that love is one of the three energies that build this cosmos, right? So love is a very powerful force. We talk about energy, light, and love as the three foundation of this entire universe upon Vedanta. So this is not Vedanta, this is Buddhism, but they are talking about love as the first step towards the practice of meditation. So you need to bring benevolence, love, compassion inward. How you do that? Well, I explain a technique. You can develop your own technique. But the important part when we practice today metta meditation is that you kind of have that feeling of love within, inward. When you have that feeling of love within, or compassion, or benevolence, that sort of feeling, that's why this meditation is very good in my understanding. Why? Because it's a very clear object of attention. You have right there a very clear object of attention, right? For example, once again with my example, when I think about my sons, I just feel the love. And then right there, I have that very clear object of attention in which I can hang, and in which I can hold on. Makes sense? And in meditation, that's very important, because we know that even this is something that Buddhism says, monkey mind. We have this monkey mind. Our mind is constantly going away. So when we have a place in which we can anchor ourselves like a very clear object of attention, then it makes things easier. Okay? Once you develop this sort of energy within, you want that energy to start radiating within you, this loving kindness radiating within you. You embrace that energy, you open up to that energy. Those would be the first steps, right? First, creating the object of your attention, that love, that compassion, that kindness, that benevolence, and then you start radiating this within you. We can do even some exercises in there. For example, you hear me talking about the heart constantly. I constantly talk about the heart because I think that when we come from the heart, we are better people. So you can use the heart as the repository field in which you are going to embrace all this situation. And once you have that, you begin sending that energy out. And how you send that energy out? Well, you send that energy out, you radiate that energy outward from the easiest to the most difficult. And how that happened? Well, you start with the revered teacher or guide in your life, someone that is very important to you. And then you start sending that love, that compassion, that benevolence towards that guidance, that revered teacher of yours. And then you go with your loved ones, the people that were in charge of you when you were a baby. Maybe your parents, maybe not, whatever is the situation, whatever is your story, that's the people that really would be sort of easy to connect and say, hey, thank you for that. And then your friends, and then your acquaintances, and then people that you maybe don't know, and then people that you can call enemies. I don't even like the word enemies, but let's put that name. People that you feel, okay, it's difficult for me to be with you. And then you go to the entire planet. That would be the exercise. To put it in a simple way, that's a good way to practice loving kindness. So again, you develop this feeling of benevolence, compassion, love within. You make this feeling radiating from you. So you create this source of love and compassion, of benevolence within you. And then you start sending that out towards the universe in that list. So it's easy for you to hold it, to handle it. Revered teacher, family, friends, acquaintances, people you don't know so much, enemies, all beings in the planet. Make sense? Any questions about this? No questions? Good. So why we don't practice a little bit for a few minutes so we have the time to practice. But I want to practice because when we practice, then you maybe have some questions and then I can answer questions. Why we don't practice for 5 minutes? Metta Bhavana, I got you. Make sense? Good. So close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, you want to shift your attention towards your heart. Let's start with the body first and relax your body. Set your body properly on those chairs or you're sitting or whatever you are seated and relax. Relax your body. Feel the body against the chair. Start relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your arms, your hands, relaxing your pelvis, softening your pelvis and relaxing your legs, grounding your feet. If you're sitting in a chair, if you're in cross position, just make sure that the spine is upright. Excellent. Now shift your attention towards your heart and connect with your heart. And this is the place in which we are going to begin the process of loving kindness meditation, our heart. So breathe through your heart. Each inhalation, send that energy towards your heart. On each exhalation, send that energy out from your heart. Try to make this connection very clear, very vivid. The energy of your heart right there in the center of your being. And then let's create this feeling of benevolence or love or compassion within our heart. Use the technique you prefer. I'm going to think about my kids and I'm going to embrace the love I have for them. Just bring in their presence, their image into my mind. That will make it, that will be enough for me. But you develop your own way to create this feeling. At some point, you start feeling it within your heart. This love, this connection. Keep embracing that energy and keep radiating that energy all over you. Feel the power of that energy within you and how it radiates. And when you feel ready, think about a revered teacher or a guide in your life. And as you inhale, pick up that energy, loving kindness energy. And as you exhale, send that energy to this person, to this teacher, to this guidance in your life. Now, once again, connect with the energy within your heart and take a deep inhalation, feeling that energy. And as you exhale, send that energy to your family or your loved ones. Take your time. Make sure that you're sending that energy to them, even if they are not anymore in this planet. Now think about your friends, friends from the past, actual friends, and then do the same. As you inhale, embrace the energy, this loving kindness energy, and then send that energy out towards your friends on each exhalation. Repeat this a few rounds. Now think about your acquaintances, people that you know because you are in contact with, but you're not that close. Think about a few of them and do the same. On each inhalation, you pick up the energy, you embrace the energy within you. On each exhalation, you send that loving energy towards those acquaintances. Now think about your enemies or people that you are holding some grievance or resentment or people that you don't have in a good spot at this moment. Think about them. And then do the same. On each inhalation, you embrace the loving kindness energy, and on each exhalation, you send that energy towards these people, towards your enemies. Finally, think about all the beings in the planet. People at this moment is sleeping, working, having breakfast, dancing, traveling, flying, running, jumping, swimming, playing, drinking, eating. Think about this entire planet and all the beings and send that energy out, that loving kindness out for being part of this amazing experience. called human being, called planet Earth, called universe. When you feel ready, gently open your eyes. Okay, so this is a good way to start this meditation. It's a let me check that nobody. Let me see this. Yeah, we are good. This is a good way to practice Metta Bhavana. Do you have any questions how the technique goes? Any questions about it? No questions? Was it easy for you or was something kind of difficult? How was it?
Well, I do have maybe a question or a comment.
Sure, sure, sure.
For the most part, it was pretty easy
Mhm.
until we got to the end part where you had said, I don't like using the word enemies either, and I just thought about what's going on. And I found that really and kindness to everybody. How do you work through that? Just
It's a
practice?
it's a very good question. I think that mostly people that you consider in that spot um, usually are great teachers
Mm-hmm.
for us
For us,
because
right?
yes, yeah, no particularly great teacher. Maybe
No,
it's a person that don't have any. It's an individual that don't have any quality of being a teacher. But I'm
right,
not talking about that. I'm talking in our personal journey.
right.
That particular um, individual that for some reason you are able to differentiate and call enemy um, is a great teacher
No,
because
yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
yeah because is someone that somehow is putting you in a very uncomfortable spot.
Mm-hmm.
Just that presence puts you in that uncomfortable spot. And usually what happens is that they bring the worst of us.
Mm-hmm.
We because we are not able to show loving kindness. So then the ego jumps in and then we start just getting into this bad and good people, bad and good things, and bad and good and bad and good and bad and good. And the problem with that is that I'm not gonna say that, but there is a beautiful quote of Rumi. Um, Beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and bad doing, there is a field. I meet you there.
Oh, that is beautiful.
We need is imperious that we need to that's what I love Buddhist meditations, and that's the main reason for what I am just bringing this up is because we need to move into a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation move us into a different place. That's what meditation do, because basically meditation dissolves the ego. The ego put us in that place. That's it. Nothing wrong about the ego. You hear me about it. If I don't have this ego, I couldn't connect with you. Fine. Now, if I understand that, that's what I wear in this t-shirt, and I would say because I am Argentinian, you go to an Argentinian barbecue, everyone is wearing a black t-shirt and jeans. I didn't recognize that until the son of my partner came, invited, and say, "What is going on with you guys? They're all using the same uniform." I say, "Ooh, I never realized it." Yeah, why? Okay, that's how it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And there is no answer to that. I mean, it's fine that this is happening to you, and it's great. So meditate about it.
Mm-hmm.
Meditate about it. Work on that. Because for sure you are going to find the answer, and for sure you are going to be able to trespass that field. In which field you want to live? That would be the answer. In which field you want to live?
Thank you.
And yeah, and you know, I work in a prison for 5 years. You are supposed to see the bad people in prison. I never found them.
Right.
And I was surrounded by thousands of people, thousands of them. It wasn't like a, 10, 5. No, I just worked 5 years there. So I walk around and walk around and walk around. Yeah. So think about this. Think about darkness and light. You can put more darkness in a room that is dark. You can. There is no way that you can put more darkness in a room. What you can bring is light. So darkness is the absence of light. So our work is to bring light first within. That's why loving kindness works that way. You can send that out if you don't have it in.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to develop this inward, and then send it outward and practice that. And then, as I say, from the easiest to the most difficult, because it's easy for a revered teacher or guidance in your life to say, I love you, thank you so much, you are the best. Then your family, it's not that easy as the teacher, for sure. There is someone there that is not that easy going.
Mm-hmm.
Then your friends, yes, you choose your friends, but some of your friends maybe are not as friendly anymore, or are not as your friends anymore. So yeah, you go like this. And then acquaintances, and then you say, why I'm going to send loving kindness to acquaintances? Because in which field you want to live. And then, yeah, that's basically it. But it's great that you're having this experience. It means that then it's working. You already have the loving kindness within, and it was difficult for you to send it out to some specific individual or situation or whatever it is. You don't need to, what we are talking about is your own thought. So we're not going to go there, but you want to really explore. This is a really amazing opportunity to explore there and say, why I am having this difficulty. Right. And Vipassana is very good for that.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to move now into the second meditation, which is Samatha. Samatha basically is based on tranquility. We want to create tranquility. This is what Samatha means. Samatha means tranquility. And then again, it's based on this single-mindedness of purpose. You are really focusing your attention on an object. You are really focusing your attention on an action. That's what it is. This is absolutely related to the second step of meditation on Patanjali's book, because Pratyahara, you redirect your senses inward. Dharana, you are focusing your attention on an object. So Buddhists believe that when we focus our attention on an object, we calm our mind. Vedanta said 5,000 years ago, or Patanjali, well, at the same time of Buddha, because Patanjali and Buddha were at the same time. But Patanjali wrote down what was happening 1,000 years ago, before, sorry. So, yeah, Vedanta is saying Pratyahara, Dharana, they are talking about directing your attention towards an object, which practically has a lot of sense. You cannot have two thoughts at the same time. You cannot. You have a thought, another thought, a thought, another thought, a thought, another thought, and then at some point, you say, oh, I have 1,000 thoughts. Yeah, but never you can have a thought on top of another thought. Can't. And maybe it's so close to each other that you feel that they are kind of the same, but no, it's a thought, another thought, a thought, another thought. When you are focusing your attention on a thought, because in the end, an action or an object is a thought. If I say like a light, like a focus your attention in that particular candle light. Well, that's an object. Focusing your attention on breathing. Well, that's an object. Focusing attention on your breathing in and out. That's an action. So that's a thought. All of that is a thought. If you are focusing your attention on a thought, then you can have another thought. You cannot. When you are not having this amount of thoughts, yeah, maybe your mind, you're focusing thought, 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 thought. Why I didn't send the text? I need to send the text. Thought, 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 thought. Oh, I'm super tired. Thought, 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 thought. I am getting sleepy in here. Thought, thought, thought. Makes sense? So when you are focusing your attention on a thought, you have less thoughts. The less thoughts you have, the more calm your mind is going to be. So there is a practical side in here. And that's basically what it is. It's basically developing the ability of concentration. This is what samatha is, the ability of really being able to focus. And by developing this ability, we create calmness and we create tranquility on the mind. In reality, samatha is definitely a preparation to vipassana. And you will understand when we go through vipassana why. But samatha is a preparation to vipassana, because if your mind is not calm, you are not able to witness thoughts without getting engaged of them. And that's what vipassana is. Vipassana is the witnessing awareness. But we're going to go there. Let's stay here with samatha first. Makes sense? So any questions about how we are going to do samatha? Because samatha, basically, I'm going to guide you, but we're going to connect with the breathing. But you already did this with me 1,000 times. You're going to be able to, you're going to try to really focus your attention on breathing. Focusing, 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 focusing. As soon as your mind flies away, which it will go somewhere, you're really focused, and then suddenly someone say, hello, and then your mind is going to fly away. Suddenly your stomach makes a noise, your mind is going to go there. Suddenly a car in the street, distraction, our mind goes away. So no worries about that. Bring your mind back and focus your attention on an object. That's why Buddhist meditators, masters of Buddhist meditators, say you need to spend years on this in order to really develop this ability of concentration, being so still and direct and having this mindfulness of purpose that your mind is really stuck on an object. That will create the perfect foundation in order to go into vipassana. Make sense? So, but let's practice. Let's not put so much pressure on this thing, and let's practice and see what's going on. So close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, once again, just remember always to sit comfortably and relax yourself, checking the tensions you're holding and things that, are kind of not allowing you to be comfortable. So make yourself comfortable. That would be the saying here. Please take a moment and make yourself comfortable having your eyes softly closed. Any readjustment, any movement you need to do, anything, scratching your nose and readjusting yourself, or taking a few deep inhalations and exhalations, or turning the lights off, or whatever. Just do whatever you need. Take a moment. And then at some point, you shift your attention towards your breathing, and you begin the process to connect with your breathing. Air goes in, air goes out. You feel this through your nostrils, You feel this touching the back of your throat and going down to your trachea. You feel how your lungs expand and shrink on each inhalation and on each exhalation. Just connect with that. As soon as your mind flies away, you bring your mind back and you keep connecting with the physical sensation of the air going through in and out. We're going to practice this for a couple minutes. Do your best. Enjoy. Just release the attention on your breathing, and when you feel ready, open your eyes. This one is much more difficult, as you can tell. No, it's much more difficult. Were you able to see your mind flying away and come back to your breathing? Were you able to do that? Yes? Yes, no, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't
Because-
see it flying
Yeah.
away, but I see when I notice I'm away and then come back.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
I don't notice when it's going away, but when I notice it has gone away, I can come back. So
Perfect. That's excellent. This is why this meditation is much more complicated than why um, um, masters, Buddhist meditators suggest spending years practicing concentration, because concentration is basically the ability to focus, and your mind is so focused and so mindfulness focus on the purpose of meditation, that it doesn't go away. It doesn't, no. But it's fine. But this is the point. It's great that you are able to bring it back.
Mhm.
And that's the point. It's great that you are able to bring it back. And it's great that you realize that. Just start with that. Start with that and say, wow. Because you are going to see how if you the more that you connect with that particular movement of the mind, the more that you are going to deepen into the practice of meditation. And the more that you're going to realize how crazy we are also. But well, that's part of the the meditation practice. That realization is one of the greatest. So yeah, this is very simple practice also, but it's very difficult to attain. So you really want to practice this. And practice for 5 minutes. Focus on a candle. Focus on a, like I have in there, or on the back, or how you call it, how you call it, mantra is it's not mantra, it's chantra. You focus on a chantra. Chantras are very good for samatha, because you have your eyes open, but you are really focusing in an image, and chantras are very, very, very powerful for samatha. That will give you the idea of, you're there, and then you see that your mind flies away, but then you have the thing in there in front of you. It's a technique. So you want to practice like any other technique. You practice and you practice and you practice, and you become better. Any questions about how to do this? Very simple. So we open the heart. Second, we focus our attention. There's Vipassana. Vipassana, as I say before, literally means insight or seeing, being able to see deeply. Why you want to see deeply? Well, because you want to be mindful about all the thoughts and feelings you have. That's how the practice is. The practice is being able to observe in detachment. So you're going to observe whatever is coming. You're going to close your eyes and you're going to observe whatever is coming. And instead to engage, you just see them go through. Make sense? For example, you are just closing your eyes, and then suddenly you remember the moment, the coffee you drink this morning when you wake up, and it was amazing. It was the best coffee you ever drunk in your life. And then you remember the coffee and the taste, and then you say, oh my God, it was incredible. Okay, you got engaged on the thought. Now you can see the coffee and say, great coffee. That is still an engagement, but still, the thought goes away because it was a great coffee. If you want to be a perfect Vipassana meditator, the coffee. I'm just kidding. So, makes sense. That's how Vipassana is. Vipassana, basically, you are going to develop what it is called the witnessing awareness ability, being able to witness in awareness whatever is coming. It's going to be a lot coming. You just simply let them be. All these thoughts and emotions, you simply let them be. Whatever is coming, doesn't matter. It's said that Buddha was practicing Vipassana when he became enlightened. Who knows that? But that's how it's being said in the Buddhist circles. I love Vipassana because it's very simple, it's very inclusive, it's a great practice. But again, if your heart is not wide open, and if you're not able to develop the ability of concentration, how you're going to handle Vipassana properly? Yes, questions are the best because they give me the road.
Well, I don't, your English is excellent, of course, but I don't understand this.
That's not true.
Well, we all know that. It's a wonderful British accent, but I can't understand what this third one is. Can you spell it for me, Diego?
Vipassana is a V as in Victor,
Yeah,
I as in Irish,
yeah,
P as in Peter,
yep.
A as in Albert,
Mm-hmm.
S as in Samuel,
Yep.
S as in Samuel,
Uh-huh.
A as in Albert,
Oh, A. Okay.
N as in Nancy, and A as in Albert. Vipassana.
Okay. Got it.
Many A's in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Vipassana.
Okay.
Vipassana.
Right. You were mentioning Metta something.
Well, the first meditation, Metta Bhavana.
Okay, that's the first one.
Yes,
Okay.
Metta, Metta. I will send this out in a writing.
Okay. That's all right.
Don't get engaged in. I will send a paper like a document with all this information.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
But still, the first one is Metta, which means loving kindness.
Right.
The second one is Samatha, which means tranquility. Literally, I'm literally telling you what it means. And the third one is Vipassana, which means insight. The V, or Vi, means in Sanskrit, and Passana means sight or seeing. That's what is called insight meditation. But because basically experiences the insight into the truth of your life. This is what the meditation is. You want to experience in the insights, these insights into the truth of your life.
Right.
Because when we are having thoughts and when we are having emotions, this is telling us what's going on. Buddha used to say, all these thoughts that you're having is what you are. And it's a very rough, definition, but that's basically it. It's different than Descartes. When Descartes say, I think, then I exist. It's a completely different story, right? Because that's materialism and it's completely different. But so I don't want you to mistake that. But basically, the idea is that all this narrative that we create need to also be dissolved. Because it's something that we create. And we create in our experience, in our upbringing into this world. And then no problems at all, but the problems when we believe on this, when we hold on this. That's the problem. That's what creates the problem. So you want to dissolve it. You want to step back. You want to understand what is real and what is not real. And you will see that most of it is not real. It's just a narrative that we create, and we just live with that. That's what I love when we say that we have free will. Free will, yes, but free will of what? Of habits? Right? Because most of our actions during a day are based upon habits. So meditation will give you those insights, and that's why Vipassana will give you those insights. But but you need to prepare yourself. And in order to prepare yourself, first thing is to open the heart. And second thing is to be able to concentrate, because if not, yes, you see the thoughts, but how you're going to be able not to get engaged on the thoughts if you're not able to concentrate? How you're going to be able to develop the witnessing awareness ability if you're not able to even concentrate on an object? If you concentrate on an object, then your mind flies away. Boom, 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 boom. How you're going to, what you said? You say, I don't know when my mind flies away, but I know that my mind flew away. I can bring it back. Well, that's a big deal. Big deal. Most of us, we don't even talk about that. If I say this in loud voice in any bar, people will say, "What are you talking about? What makes sense?" All right, so let's practice for a few minutes Vipassana and see what's going on. Make sense? So close your eyes. And again, sit yourself comfortably, make yourself comfortable, and then allow things to come in, allow these thoughts and emotions to be. I'll take care of the time, so you just allow these things to happen. Take a moment, and when you feel ready, open your eyes. It's a difficult way to express the experience per se, but I would say in my case was like a like a thousand things happening constantly, seeing all these things and thoughts that arise and feelings and even music, or a song or something. Um, so it's a great practice. It's very simple, and that's I love it. It's very simple. And at some point, what is happening is that all this activity starts slowing down. I always refer like the mind like this child. You hold the child with your hand, and the child goes around and is jumping and jumping and going and blah blah blah, and then you hold the hand again, and the kid goes away and goes away and goes away. And at some point, the kid hold the hand and say, I'm much better. I'm going to hold this hand. I'm going to stay here because I don't want to be in trouble. The mind is exactly the same. The mind is going to be bing, bam, boom, bing, boom, bing, and at some point start calming down. So it's about consistency. It's about being there. It's about everyday practice a little bit. Now you have three different practices that you can practice at home. Loving kindness, you just create this sort of feeling within you inwards, and then you send it out. That's loving kindness. You're purifying your heart. At the core of any yoga tradition, the purification of the heart is very important because, as I always say, when we are coming from the heart, we are better people. And there is no place for heart and ego, but that's what it is. The ego can be on the heart. The heart is holistic, is complete, is whole. There is no place for the ego to be on the heart. The ego uses the heart sometimes, but that's a different story. So that's metta. Samatha is a very disciplined technique. You gotta be there, and then you see that your mind flies away, bring it back. Mind flies away, bring it back. Mind flies away, bring it back. There is a story. I think this Arjuna, but I am not remembering very well the story. But this teacher with his apprentices and his students, and they were just with the arch and the arrow, and then they hung this sort of bird image on the tree, and then the first student go, and then he said, "Well, okay, just tell me what you see," and then the student go. And then the students say, well, I see the mountains, and I see the tree, and I see the bird. And okay, a second one, don't shoot. And then the second one, what do you see? And then, well, I see the tree, and I see the ten, and I see the bird, the image of the bird. Okay, don't shoot. And then the third one is Arjuna. But everyone was seeing things, and then Arjuna said, when he's going to, about to go there, when the teacher stopped him and said, what is it that you see? And Arjuna say, I see a bird. So that's mindfulness of focus, right? So you are just really there, boom. And the interesting part of when we focus at that level, everything dissolves. That's the point. Everything dissolves. Because consciousness is at the level of observation. Conscious is at that level. That's why they call the rishi the observer, right? That's why they talk about the rishi, because the rishi is the observer. Consciousness is at that level, is at the level of observation. That's why samatha is so important, because you are basically developing the ability to concentrate your awareness, your attention, the skill of attention, which is a very important skill in order to understand observation. And if you are able to do this, if your heart is open and you are able to develop some sort of ability of focusing, then Vipassana becomes a much more interesting practice. Because if not, it's going to be much more like, oh my God, how crazy I am, which is what I always said, right? Oh, I am so crazy. Yeah, because it's like a fireworks. So we don't have the time to practice the three of them. I was thinking to do a practice the three of them, but I'm very optimistic always with the time, but we don't have the time. But I think that you have a very narrow idea of very kind of simple idea of how this three meditation works. And then you are always open, please be always free to send me a text, to send me an email, to make a call. If you are practicing and say, I can understand this, or this is not working, or I would like to have more information about this particular story, just write me an email or text me, or make a call, and then I'll be there for you. All right. So beautiful to be with you. Thank you so much for your commitment. I really appreciate it. And thank you for being part of this. We are going to keep going. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on the mat, and I'll see you around.
Yes.
Ciao. Enjoy the night. Bye-bye.
Happy February.
Happy February. Exactly. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.